Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Baseball Beat. I'm Dan Lovallo. I hope you're having as much fun watching the playoffs as I am for baseball, because it really has been exciting. You've got the Washington Nationals winning the first two games of the NLCS in St. Louis, and then you have the Astros and Yankees picking up from where they left off in 2017, and that series, the ALCS, is now tied at 1-1. But let's get back to that Washington-St. Louis series for just a moment, as the Nationals try to go to the World Series for the first time. Up 2-0 going into Game 3 on Monday in Washington. And I bring all of this up because it's almost the old being part of the new. What do I mean? Well, we're hearing a lot about analytics, this, that, and the other thing. However, let me also add that Washington has on its staff Bob Boone. Who's Bob Boone? Well, he's a former Major League player and manager and part of Washington general manager Mike Rizzo's staff. Bob Boone, yes, his son is Aaron Boone, who manages the New York Yankees. Well, he's not only bringing analytics, but he's bringing his baseball acumen to all of these discussions, pregame discussions, getting the Nationals ready for the games against the Cardinals. Then you've got Jack McKeon, Trader Jack. You remember him, managed the Florida Marlins to the 2003 World Series championship against the Yankees. And he's managed Kansas City and Cincinnati, managed Cincinnati in the playoffs. He's been a front office executive, engineered many trades. He was with the San Diego Padres. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Well, he's something like 89 years old now. And I caught up with Jack, who, as I said, works for Mike Rizzo, general manager of the Washington Nationals. I caught up with Jack back in May during the regular baseball season. I broadcast games for the Hartford Yard Goats, and the Washington Nationals AA club, the Harrisburg Senators, are in the Eastern League, and they were in Hartford for a weekend series, and Jack McKeon was there. Well, he was kind enough to give me an interview, and we played it on the pregame show, and it's going to be part of the Baseball Beat podcast. Here is my interview with Jack McKeon from back in May. Jack, welcome to Hartford.
Thanks, Dan. It's really a pleasure to get back to this area again.
Jack, let's look back at that 2003 season, because you took over the club when it was under 500 and turned it around. What turned that club around, do you think?
Well, it's funny because I was just talking to our manager, Matt LaCroix, about things about managing and how players today want discipline, but we have so many young guys coming in as managers, and I understand where I was the same boat. You want everybody to like you, and pretty soon they take advantage of you. So you got to put your foot down once in a while. And the reason I think I was successful down there was, first of all, I didn't need the job. And that was the first meeting I had with the players. I told them right out front. I said, boys, I don't need this job. But I'll tell you right now, I'm not down here to babysit. I'm down here to win. This train is going north. If you want to get on it, great. If you don't want to get on it, there's the door. And I said, I told them how we're going to play, a little bit different. We're going to play for what's on the front of our shirts, not what's on the back of the shirts. And pretty soon they bought in, and, after the first 10 or 12 games, we had a struggle, but after that, we got everybody buying into the picture, and it was easy.
Was there a point in the season when you said, I've got something special here, we could go all the way?
Yes, it was. It was a lot of times. I'll tell you, I think it was probably in St. Louis one time, and we were playing the Cardinals the next night game, and we were behind, and I bring this pitcher in. We load the bases, they load the bases. Bottom of the ninth, tie game, and I'm out. My pitchers walk two guys that already been out to the mound, get on this pitcher, and I got a guy warming up. I don't want to use him, but now he gets two balls. I go out and I pull him out of the game, knowing this guy's going to walk the guy and they're going to force the run in. But so happened, Tony brings in a pinch hitter. The guy swings at the first pitch. It's a ground ball to third. Mike Lowell steps in the back, throws to first base. We go extra innings. Somebody hits a home run at the top of the 10th. We win the game. I said, we're going to win this thing.
And you knew you had something going. Then the playoffs. I remember the playoffs. I remember watching them on television. Joe Robbie Stadium just shaking with enthusiasm. What was it like as the manager in the dugout?
Well, it was special. And Dan, I'll tell you, in all the years I managed 16 years in the big league, 17 years in the minors. That was the club that was the most unselfish team I ever had. They did all the little things. They didn't have any egos. If you wanted a veteran of 20 years to bunt, he bunt. He didn't challenge you. Why should I be bunting? He did it. A lot of those guys would do things on their own that I didn't order them to do just to win a ball game. And when we won, it turned that whole community, South Florida, over. That was the greatest thing ever happened to them down there because it's just united the team and the fans, and it created such excitement. It was very special.
And then you go to the World Series against the great Yankees, who were on one of their rolls, and the Marlins certainly didn't seem to be intimidated.
Well, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but we battled all year. We were the underdogs. We went and played the Giants, and I had a meeting with the team. I said, look, guys, let's have fun. We're not supposed to be here. There's no pressure on us. The pressure's on the Giants. They got to win, so let's go out and have fun. We win that. Same thing with the Cubs. Now we get to Yankee Stadium and get the World Series. I never forget this. The owner comes to me and says, Jack, are you going to have a meeting and tell the players about the mystique of the Yankees, the monuments? I said, are you out of your mind? These guys don't know whether they're playing in Hoboken or Yankee Stadium. We're having fun, and we're relaxed. And that's the reason I think we won.
As I recall, the fifth game, the extra inning game, turned out to be the turning point of that series, didn't it?
That was the time that Gonzalez hits the home run that puts us out in front.
Jack, what is it about the game that keeps you in it? I mean, you're still going strong.
Well, I love it. What am I going to do? I laid out a year last year. The Washington wanted me to come to work, and I said, I'll take a break. I've been in this thing for 70 years. And, then I got about August, I still got bored. So then they called back, and I said, okay, I'm going to go back. I can't hang around. My wife wants me to get out of the house. She drives me crazy. I drive her crazy because we've never been, together that long. But, I just love it. And got my son working for Washington. I got a grandson that scouts for the Phillies. Son-in-law was a scout for the Dodgers, just died about a month ago. And so we're a baseball family.
A final question before we let you go. You've managed so many great players, among them George Brett. Talk about George.
Well, it was a funny thing about George. He had his spring training. He came to his first spring training with us. We knew he was a good player. And he played outside himself. He tried to do stuff that he was trying to make the team. He was trying to do it, and he was so bad. And finally we said, he wasn't that bad, but he was not producing in spring training. You could see he wasn't ready. So we sent him to Omaha and then brought him back. And after that, first of all, he's a gamer, knew how to play the game, had a great makeup. And for some reason, he was like a hitter like Ted Williams. They studied and they could vision a lot of things that other players can't do. But he was a great guy, and as he said in his induction in Cooperstown, he mentioned my name and said his first I taught him how to have fun.
Well, there you have it, my interview with Trader Jack McKeon. Well, as always, thanks for listening to the podcast. You can go to sportscasterdan.com. That's my website. And you can also subscribe to the podcast in various podcast directories. And if you would like to email me, my email address is dan@danlovallo.com. And enjoy the baseball playoffs. I know I am.